What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel, Pilot Pete. And before I get started on today's video, I just want to say thank you, 10,000 subscribers. It really means a lot to me. I work pretty hard, put a lot of effort into these videos, and to see the positive feedback that you guys have been giving me throughout this little YouTube journey of mine means a lot. I'm gonna continue to do it. I hope to inspire, motivate, share some aviation behind the scenes, and continue to grow the channel. So again, thank you so much. And in honor of those 10,000 subscribers, instead of a vlog today, it's gonna be 10 questions for myself, Pilot Pete, Airline Pilot 767 First Officer, and I'm gonna answer the 10 most common questions I get from you guys in my comment section, my DMs, and also just from family and friends about aviation. So without further ado, let's get into it. My dad and my grandfather both have their private pilot's license. Even though I never got to go flying with them, they always talked about it, so I feel like the seed was planted in my head at a really young age. Then growing up, I had a neighbor who's a captain at Delta for a long time, so I'd always talk to him a little bit about his trips, about flying, so on and so forth. And then I'll never forget, my freshman year, I was a freshman at Arizona State University, hanging out in the dorms. We'll say I was drinking Gatorade and milkshakes because I was under 21 at the time. And another student who I never met, just got to talking to him, and he told me he was a professional flight aviation major. I was like, what the heck is that? I was a liberal arts psychology major, had no interest in that whatsoever. I was just going to school to kind of have a good time. But when he told me about aviation and flying, it really sparked an interest in me. The next day I called my advisor, figured out what the prerequisites and requirements were to get into this program, went back to New Jersey to my local flight school, took a few lessons, and pun intended, my career took off from there. I really enjoyed it, and that's pretty much how I got into it, and glad I did, because it's the best job I've ever had. All right, well, I could sit here all day and give you pros and cons. I'll just do the biggest pro and the biggest con. For me, the biggest pro is the travel perks. I mean, I literally get to fly not only on my airline, but every other airline pretty much around the world for free. Yeah, I have to pay taxes if I go international, but for the most part, I get to go everywhere in the world for free. That opens up literally the world to you. I get excited every time I think about it because there's so many places I haven't been to yet that I want to still travel to, and I know that I get to do it. And even for little mini vacations or golf getaways or weddings, a little burden I never have to worry about is the cost of flying. Now, the biggest con I'd have to say, being an airline pilot for me at least, is being away from home. So the way my airline works, we don't just have day trips, even though there are airlines out there that do that. So that means I'm gonna be in hotel rooms, in cities and places I might not necessarily wanna be at on certain days. So especially when you're junior, you might have to work holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, friends' birthdays, whatever it may be, and that can stink. You know, most people work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. But we're working weekends. As you guys know, airlines are open 24/7, 365. So you're really gonna be working on days that you might not want to. And on top of that, like I said before, you're not sleeping in your bed every night. Hotels get pretty old pretty quick, eating out, food that you might not want, and just missing the people that you wanna be around. That's definitely the biggest con. But again, with that being said, pros and cons to every job. It's up to you to figure out if the pros outweigh the cons as far as being an airline pilot. So a type rating, for those of you who don't know, is basically the license specific for each airplane. So you can't just go fly any airplane once you become an airline pilot. You have to get specifically trained in that specific type of airplane. The way I describe it is, if you have a driver's license and you needed type ratings for cars, you don't, but if you did, you couldn't just go drive a Jaguar, Mercedes, a Honda, whatever it may be. You have to get trained in individual cars. So airplanes, you do need to get trained in individual specific airplanes. So I'm type rated to fly the Embraer 145, the HS 125, which is a Hawker 800, the DC-9, because I flew the MD-83 and the MD-88, also the Airbus A320 plus or minus one, meaning I can fly the Airbus A319, 320, and 321, and then also the Boeing 757/Boeing 767. So I can fly both the Boeing aircraft, however, I only fly the Boeing 767 because that's how my company operates. But those are the aircraft I'm type rating is, and those are the aircraft that I'm type rated on legally to go and fly. The answer is absolutely not. Whether you're 25, 35, 55, it's never too old to flight train. Seriously, If you're thinking about it, no matter what age you are, go and do it. I will say this though, airline pilots as of today in the US have to retire at age 65. So if you're 55, by the time you get your ratings, your hours, your certificates in order to fly for the airlines, you're looking at 3 to 5 years, so probably 60, which means you're only gonna have about a 5-year career in the airlines. Hey, go do it if it's your dream and it fits your lifestyle. People ask me all the time, hey, I'm 35, I'm in my 30s, because they see all these young 18, 19, 20-year-olds getting their airline hours, but they think they're too old to start. Absolutely not. If you start at 30, within 5 years, potentially you could be at a major or legacy airline. That gives you 20 plus years in the industry, making what I think is a considerable amount of money. So as always, if it's a dream of yours, no matter what the age, go and do it. And I'll just finish it with this. Airline pilots have to retire at 65. There's Part 91, Part 135. There's so many different types of flying jobs out there that you can do as long as you're in good health and can pass a medical. So again, chase your dreams. Pretty simple. What you want to do is find your closest local airport, so not JFK, not LAX, but just a local podunk airport in your hometown, somewhere nearby, and you want to go and take a discovery flight. Introductory flight, discovery flight, same freaking thing. Most every flight school offers them. Depending on where you live in the country, they range from like 95 all the way up to like 250 bucks for about 30 to 45 minutes of flight time. And that's where you're gonna get an introduction to flight. So they're gonna take you up in the airplane, you're gonna fly around a little bit, you're gonna be with an instructor who's gonna teach you not how to fly an airplane, but just kind of teach you, what flying is like, what to expect, and all the requirements and prerequisites in order to become a pilot. So it can seem overwhelming at first, I totally understand that. But before you jump into it, you wanna make sure you actually like flying. So go to your local flight school, book a discovery flight or introductory flight, and make sure flying's for you. Unfortunately, the answer to this question is very variable. It probably goes to the low scale of about $30,000 a year all the way up to $1 million a year. What determines your pay is first and foremost the company you work for, the type of aircraft you're flying. So are you flying a small CRJ regional jet from short distances, or are you flying a Boeing 777 from New York to Australia? Also your seat position. So are you a co-pilot, better known as a first officer, or are you the captain? All this is gonna determine your pay. I will say this, airline pilots are all paid at an hourly basis. So a lot of people think that we're salary based. We are not, we're hourly employees. So we only get paid when we're flying. There's other aspects that go into it, but we're definitely not salary employees. And the last thing I'll say about the pay is the rates do fluctuate a lot. If you really wanna look into this, airlinepilotcentral.com I believe is a great way to get up-to-date pay scale rates at each airline. So go and check them out. But again, it varies so much, it's hard to really get into it. And even the same pilot at the same company flying the same aircraft in the same position. So for example, first officer at my company flying a 767, I may make X and they may make Y because I fly more, they fly less, or vice versa. So it's really impossible to say. I always do say this though, don't get into flying for the money. There's a lot of other stuff that goes into it. Get into it because you actually like flying. So I've been getting this one a lot. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see my non-negotiables. Every day I'm moving my body in the gym pretty much 7 days a week. And if I'm not in the gym 7 days a week, playing golf, pickleball, going for runs, whatever it may be. But there's no secret sauce. That's pretty much how I do it. I work out every freaking day. I move my body, I exercise, honestly, for two reasons. One, for my physical health, obviously, but even more importantly, my mental health. I don't feel like myself if I don't get the job done that day. So you always see me active. And the second thing is what you eat, right? So fortunately for me, I have a high metabolism. It's actually hard for me to put on weight. So that's just a genetic blessing that I have. Second is if you work out that much and burn that many calories, you can pretty much eat whatever you want. With that being said though, I do eat relatively healthy. When I'm on the road, I'm looking for whole foods. Their hot bars, relatively healthy, sushi. Even when I go to Chipotle, I'm doing rice, beans, chicken or steak, and then leaving the crap out like the cheese and the sour cream. I don't touch soda, I just drink water. Alcohol, same thing. I don't really drink alcohol at all on the road. unless there's like a big celebration or I have a fun layover with some family or friends. So just healthy habits. It's really not hard. And the last thing I'll say about that, staying fit, is people always ask me, how do you get the energy? How do you keep up with the gym routine? Discipline over motivation. Discipline over motivation. I'm not motivated chicken every day, rice. I'm not motivated to go to the gym every day, before my flight, after my 8-hour, 12-hour day, but I'm disciplined. Going to the gym is like brushing my teeth. I have to do it. So discipline over motivation, and stick with any routine, compact little wins, and you'll get there too. This again can vary day to day, week to week, month to month, pilot to pilot. I will say this, I average about 14 to 16 days of work a month. So about half the month I'm off, half the month I'm flying. How I space those days out are based on my schedule and how I bid it. So I know a lot of pilots that stack their days to work 2 weeks on in a row, and then they have the following 2 weeks off. I know pilots that want to only work during the weekdays, they have weekends off. I have pilots who don't care, they just want to make as much money as possible, so they work 27 days a month. It really depends on the pilot. I personally average, like I said, around 15 days a month. And I like to have weekends off. So I'm usually working Monday through Thursday and then try to be off Friday through Sunday. So it doesn't always work out that way, but on average, that's how it works. And how your schedule works is you get your schedule a month prior. So right now it is April. I already have my May schedule, and I'll be getting my June schedule in like the first week or two of May. So schedules come out a month in advance for airline pilots, and how you bid for them is based on your seniority. Is a deep dive into that I don't have time or the patience to explain in this video. But yeah, it's pretty much how your schedule works. 15 days on, 15 days off, how you space them out. If you want to work more, great, pick some trips up. If you want to work less, great, drop them. It's pretty flexible, at least at my company. All covered by the airline, so I don't do anything. The airline takes care of the airport transportation to and from, and the hotel as well. So on layovers, we don't get to pick our hotels. Depending on the length of our layover determines whether or not our hotel is gonna be like downtown Manhattan if we have a layover in Newark, or a hotel near the airport. It really depends on all that, but we don't get to decide. All of that is taken care of within the company. As far as the transportation goes, same thing. When we get off the jet, get outside of the parking lot, 96% of the time there's a car there waiting for us to take us to our hotel. They have our itinerary, we have all the contact and itinerary information ourselves. And as far as payment goes, not a nickel comes out of our pocket. It's all taken care of by the company. It's, you know, you're on duty, you're on your job, so the hotel's covered, the transportation's covered. We do cover tips for the drivers usually, and last thing I will say is food. I'll add this into the question. The company does not pay for our food directly, but we do get a per diem. So depending on if you're a captain or a first officer, and if you're flying domestic or internationally, at least at my airline, determines how much you get. It's only a couple bucks an hour. Why captains get paid more per hour per diem makes no sense, because if you've ever gone to eat with me, I eat 3 times as much as the normal person, so I should be getting more per diem. Either way, again, it's not paid directly to us for our meals. We don't expense it. We can drink alcohol. There's no like rules of what you can and what you can't eat. At the end of each month, depending on how many hours we are away from our base working, we get paid that hourly per diem. So if we were away for 100 hours from our base, then we would be paid 100 hours of per diem. Like I said, the hourly rate's a couple bucks. We'll call it $2. So I'd be paid 2 times 100, 200 bucks for food if that's how long I was away for. Now, honestly, normally I probably wouldn't even entertain this question usually, but with all the crazy news going on, especially with that one manufacturer here in the United States, Boeing, and all the issues that have been circulating, I totally get the apprehension to go flying. I get comments and DMs all the time. Pete, I have an upcoming flight, I'm terrified. Should I get on this plane? I haven't flown in X amount of years, I'm so scared of it. What can you do to help? I'll say this, every airline pilot wants to go home at the end of the day. I have family, I have friends, I have things outside of work that I want to go do. So if an airplane crashes, hypothetically speaking, that means you're gonna die, I'm gonna die, we're all gonna die. Well, I guarantee you, Pilot Pete promise. I am gonna go home after every single flight, period, end of story. So if I go home at the end of the flight, you go home at the end of the flight. And not just me, I promise you that every airline pilot pretty much has that same motto and credo that they're going home to see their family and their friends. So you can bet your bottom dollar that every time you get on an airplane, you will land safely. And I always put this as a disclaimer. I have these pilot charts that I sell on my website. This is not even a shameless plug. PilotPeteFly.com, wall art, check them out if you're interested in some swag art. But I will personally give you one, mail you one if you die in a plane crash. Yes, it's a little bit of dark humor, I get, but no, seriously, flying is so freaking safe, people. You have such a better chance of getting hit by a bus, getting in a car accident, dying of whatever diseases are out there. Go live your life, go see the world, go travel. I promise you, it's perfectly safe. And if you're ever on my airplane, I guarantee it to be safe. So yes, flying is absolutely 1000% safe. All right, everyone, that's a wrap. 10 questions with Pilot Pete for 10,000 subscribers. Again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, thank you, thank you for coming along for this little journey. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know. As always, comments, questions below, anything aviation related, I'm happy to answer. Shoot me a DM on Instagram. I get back to every single one of them. And yeah, this is fun. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Hope you're enjoying the channel as much as I enjoy making these videos. I'm gonna continue to do so. And maybe we can do a little bit more Q&A, maybe some lives on different platforms, who knows, whatever. See what happens. But as always, again, thank you so much. Let me know if you have any questions. Fly safe, and until next time, I'll see you.